What's going on? Welcome to Irrational Thoughts with Q. Um, I was visiting my sister and my dad last weekend, and they shared a show with me called Ready for Love. I believe it comes on the OWN network, and it's about these couples who are, I believe the age range was maybe like 30 to 40. At any rate, they're they're dating all together, and you kind of like get voted off. And I found this to be so interesting because of the games that a couple of them were playing. And it just made me realize that no matter how old you are, no matter what your age is, people still play games. And I thought, like, when do people get it together? Like, when do you get to the point where you're not going to play these games anymore? I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm trying to multitask here a little bit. I'm doing something a little bit different today. Okay, so when I talk about the games, like I said, these people are, 35, 40 years old. You had one of the people on the show, which I don't know how real it is, because when you get to the point where you're recording for a reality show, you know that you're going to be on television. You know that there are people who are going to be watching you. So you want to act like your feelings aren't hurt. You want to act like you don't care about certain things the when the cameras are not rolling. You are more into your feelings. You probably won't showboat and showcase as much as you would if there were cameras around. Because it was one of the characters who, in the middle of a date, she just basically left and said, "Oh, my boyfriend is waiting for me." And I'm like, if your boyfriend is waiting for you, then why are you on a dating show? Some of the characters were there. I mean, I call them characters, but some of the people who were on the show, it's a reality show. Some of them went home and they were already in a relationship. So it's like they probably just saw the opportunity to be on television, and they're like, "Look, babe, I need to be on television. This is my break. Like, I want to be seen." And their partner understood. And then when they went home, it was like, "Okay, I'm in a relationship." It's like, how can you be on a television show dating people, knowing that you're in a relationship that you're not leaving? In my own life, I know that there are people who play games. It's like, oh, well, he texts me. I'm going to wait. I don't want to text him back immediately. I'm going to, call him later. You look at the phone, you're like, oh, he called me. I'm going to call him back later. It's like, why? Like, why, if you have that time to talk now, do you say that you're not going to talk to that person at that moment? Is it a part of a game that you're playing, or I'm just trying to figure it out, like even for myself, because I don't play those games. So it doesn't make any sense to me. I was dating someone, and this is a while ago, so I'm like really over it, and I can share it with you. I was dating someone, a lawyer. He was divorced. Um, when we were initially dating, he told me he was seeing other people, and I was fine with that because it wasn't going, to a point where we were intimate or anything like that. So I was completely fine with it. I was like, okay, no problem. Then he said that he was going to be exclusive with the other person he was dating. I was fine with that because I'm like, okay, like we didn't get to a point where we were intimate, so breaking ties was really easy for me. After a couple of months, he contacted me again. He's like, oh, well, things aren't going the way I thought. And I'm like, okay, well, you should talk to your partner. If you're having issues with your partner, then there's nothing that I can do for you. Only your partner can help you out with that. And he said that he was talking to her about those things, but we continue to hang out as friends. It got to a point where he finally was like, oh, you know what, we're done. I, broke up with her. I don't want to be with her anymore. And I was like, well, that's cool. I don't want to be with you though, because now I'm a rebound. Like, I don't want to be your rebound. And I ended up being his rebound. Long story short, I ended up being his rebound. But again, like, I was okay with that because it we were hanging out more so as friends, and it seemed more genuine than just, okay, well, he's going out with me just because he broke up with her. It was like, okay, we were still seeing each other as friends after that, and then eventually we started seeing each other, became romantically involved. So we get romantically involved, and I'm military. I had to go away for my 2 weeks annual training, and he drove me to the airport. Kiss goodbye. Will someone please explain to me why 2 weeks later he said that he was talking to someone else and he was seeing someone else? So it makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And he was older than me. He was 10 years older than me. So me at the time, I'm just thinking like, oh, he's older than me. He has his stuff together. He's distinguished gentleman. He's a lawyer, has a good career. But then at the same time, it's like, it's the same old stuff that, I was used to dealing with. I'm at the point now where I've really grown past that. I kind of like see some of my own behaviors that I've addressed as far as the things that I feel like I attract to myself, the things that I allow in the relationships that I'm in. So I think overall I'm fine now. It's just that at that time, it just really made no sense. It makes no sense to me now. But at the time, like I'm thinking, oh gosh, I have this really great guy. And, you know, so ready for love. Why do we play these games? Why don't we just be 100% with people? Why do we try to put on facades and mask our feelings? Why? I don't do it anymore. I don't hide how I'm feeling. I'm 100% to the point where I communicate my feelings, and I'm not going to hide anything. I'm not going to hold anything in or hold anything back. My sister, Brittany, she just got married. I'm so happy for her and my brother-in-law. They make such a cute couple, and I really see where it is you just have to find your person, and it is about that unconditional love. I'm going to be happy regardless of anything, and I don't want to sacrifice my happiness, but it's me who controls my happiness. Like, it's not my partner. Like, if my partner does whatever, I should still be happy. I should still hold on to my happiness. Like, I was just talking to a group of my friends this evening, and one person brought up the fact that like someone was in a marriage and they're in the marriage and they're like, oh, well, I'm unhappy because I'm in this marriage. But me now, the way that I am now, I feel like you can be in a marriage and still be happy, but I feel to blame your marriage for the reason that you're not unhappy. To me, that just doesn't sit well with me anymore, because I feel like we choose. We choose to be happy. We choose to be angry. We choose to, like, whatever emotion that we're feeling, like, we have to own it and not blame it on someone else. You make me so angry. But really, though, do I really make you angry? Is it me? Is it me that's doing that to you, or are you choosing to be angry with me? You really know how to push my buttons. Okay, I understand that. You're saying that I'm doing things to affect you, but aren't you still the person who's choosing to feel that way? I know it's kind of complicated, but overall, I feel like I'm in a good place, and I feel like no matter what someone does to me, I have to own my emotions. I have to own how I feel, and I'm not going to blame anyone else if I'm unhappy. If I'm unhappy in a relationship and I'm communicating to that person my unhappiness, and there's an unwillingness to address my unhappiness, I still feel like it's my responsibility ultimately to be happy, not that person's responsibility to make me happy. And I hope this makes sense to you, because it totally makes sense to me. And I appreciate you hearing me out and listening. And I would love to have some feedback on this video. Again, I'm Q. You're listening to Irrational Thoughts with Q. I can be reached on Twitter at Irrational with Q, Instagram at Irrational with Q. My email address is irrationalthoughtswithq@gmail.com. And thank you for listening.